Police officers are supposed to be Nigerians, and because of the love for protection, to protect their fellow human beings, they got recruited or enlisted, depending on the level, and they got trained and they started doing the work. So if they are doing the work and you don't adequately compensate them, there's need for them to air their views. And that's why they have an association to agitate over things that they don't like. You know what is already happening? The lecturers are on it, the doctors are on it, and many of them are fleeing out of the country, which is not good for the country. And that's why some of us are saying government should look into all this agitation so that they can bring peace. There's a lot of uproar in the country, and so it's not good for the system at all. You've got to know the genesis of this issue that is creating this problem. From the onset, the police and other agencies were what they call transitional pension scheme. And later, it came up to contributory. Contributory in the sense that the president at that time, Obasanjo, you got to know, is a military man. And there's this dislike between the police and the military. You've got to understand that the police were the ones that created a break in coup planting in the country, coup planning in the country, because they put a plug, a wheel in their wheel of progress. And you remember that the army was very angry, and then even the department of the police that really discovered that coup this thing, they decimated it and then created NSO, and which is now the DSS. Now, and most of the equipments of the police were seized. The type of, they were using Shibareta at that time. They collected it and gave to the DSS. Shibareta used to be very short. I was covering crime that time, so we were still young, so we knew all that really happened. But nonetheless, as it continued, Obasanjo came up with this idea, and because his own constituency, the military, when they looked into it, they said, no, we don't like it. And many other agencies, what they did was they tagged into the military, and they said, no, we don't like this. But the military, which is personified by Obasanjo, forced it on the police. The IG then refused. You've got to understand, during the Obasanjo, it was Tafa Balogun. At the end of the day, he removed Tafa Balogun, and they came with an allegation that there was fraud with Tafa Balogun and all those things, which, to me, that case should be reviewed and be looked into, because we were in the system when those things happened. The Nuhu Ribadu and all that happened. They've got to go through that case again. We still the same issue of the mistrust between the military and the police. And it continued. And you've got to understand one thing. During the time of when the coup was coming, for each coup, the military administration that comes on top of the situation to be in power, they always compensate the military by way of either increasing their allowances or salary, so that they will not do any coup again. For every coup, there was an increase, there was a raise, and this was, going to help them when they eventually retire, because the police was still stagnant because the military have not yet forgiven the police for what they did by retarding most of the military people. You can even remember the affront, I mean the disgrace the former IG president Ibrahim Babangida gave to the IG at the airport. Said, "Where is Anini?" You know, it was an open this thing, and eventually police, of course, know what to do. They got Anini. But these are some of the tip-taps of what has been happening between the military and the police. Even recently, you will see that the military have taken virtually every internal security, which is the constitutional of the police. They've taken everything. What are we talking? I wrote an article the other day. We are talking of bandits. We are talking of kidnappers. My friend, in those days, Shino Rambo on the street of Lagos from Benin Republic, will storm Lagos like this. Everybody will run into their distance. They will be shooting. They have everything. And the same police quelled and brought down Shino Rambo. Anini Lawrence, I saw him the day he was arrested in Benin City. Prior Sayade, I was the only journalist that he invited. I saw Anini when he was, gunned down by Kayode. I mean, brought arrested by Kayode. So why will you now tell me this same police cannot handle bandits and all these things we are talking about? No, it's because the wings of the police have been cut down. The type of training they used to have that time, they don't have it again. How many policemen go abroad now for training? No, because they won't give them the money. And then what again? What of the equipment? A vehicle goes, the way policemen are trained, when you use a vehicle for 6 months, you change it. But now, you will even see policemen pushing cars, during operation. All these things it doesn't all go well for the country. I think that there's an undisclosed agenda to decimate the powers of the police. Because even with what is happening now, there's the military, all these things that in Zamfara, Katsina, Niger, Kaduna is military. You want to tell me there are no policemen there? Policemen are in every local government in the country, and they are all armed. For God's sake, they are all armed. But what many of us don't hear, like a call from the villa or from anywhere and instructing the IG, come, step down your men. What you want him to, what do you think he will do? He will obey. We know of the issue of MENA. We know the issue of MENA, and many other people that have gone through that process and they fed very fat. You say you set up a policy, you ask the policeman to be contributing, and you, government, will be contributing. And when he retires, that you are going to take care of his retirement. And when he eventually retires, what he was contributing, you divide it into 2 or 3, and then give him, a lump sum, which is that cannot even build a house for them. And then at the end of the day, the one that you said you will be giving them monthly, is a peanut. Do you know an AIG, 87,000 a month? But check an AIG in the military, millions. That's what they take home. That's what they take home. A commissioner of police in the police on that scheme is almost 60-something thousand that he collects. Can that feed his family? Can that send his children to school? Can that feed him? Can that sustain him? And as a commissioner of police, once they retire, these are things I have worked there. I've worked in the force headquarters. These are things we see. You see crowd coming to them, for as if they are carrying money. Well, it's the system that caused all these things. It's the politicians. They politicized the police. When they want to do recruitment, they will bring long list. One list from Senate, list from governors, list from Villa, list from, and there's no way they can. You remember the same Obasanjo, you remember what he said, police is recruiting robbers into the system. So, but have they helped the police to correct all these things? Even when police want to correct it, they are the same people that will bring list. It's not a joke now.
And then
35 years of wearing that boot. Go and meet medical doctors. Let them tell you what it means to be wearing boot for 35 years. Let them tell you what it means to be putting that type of belt for 35 years. Let them tell you what it means to be wearing uniform, the same uniform for 35 years. Let them tell you. Then you know the not only psychological or medical effect of these things, but do we appreciate them? I have interviewed a British police officer. For God's sake. Well, you see, because I have worked there, whenever there is police recruitment, I get avalanche of requests. But many of them, when I check them, I find out that they are doing it as the last resort. Make we cuckoo, make we just get a job, and that is not it. Those who went in there, I can name first-class students. Ima Ojukwu, the former PRO, was a first-class student. So many of them like that. First, in University of Nsukka, no, it's not Kwekwe school. They were first-class brains, but they decided to join the police. They decided to join the police. Many of them like this. Brains. Now, with all that is happening, there's no way. Anyone that is joining the police now is done as a last resort, not with zeal or with love. Because you must join the police with zeal, with patriotic zeal, with love for your country before you can. And that's why a policeman can stand in a place for more than 5-6 hours. Why is he doing that? It's because of your own protection. It's because of the love he has for the country. And because when he stands there, he's looking at people moving up and down. Their life depends on him. And he's so happy that he's given that opportunity to do it. But no, not now. The ones that are joining now are joining either because of the money they want or because there's nothing again to join. Because you can't even go to civil service and say you want to get a job. It's not. It's a camel going through the eye of a needle. Things are very hard now. So the only police is the largest recruiter of this thing, because you know what it means. You have to almost for every recruitment 10,000, 20,000 is large. But unfortunately, it's not the best hands, that they are getting. The only savior they have is a National Assembly. They are the only, and thank God, because they are from the communities, before they emerge to be what they are, And they, look at it. Many police officers want to be in that Senate, in that House of, but they cannot contest because they don't have the money. Nuhu Aliu was the last DIG that went there, and people is his community that sponsored him. And you see the type of motion and the type of bills and his discussion when he was there. When you bring up issue of security, see, how he handles it. But many police officers cannot go into politics because they don't have the money. They don't have the money. Let me shock you. I went to see a friend, a police officer. I was in his office. He's a DSP. And his former Oga came in to see him. And when the Oga left, you know what he told me? He said, oh boy, I'm almost getting tired, And every time this Oga, they come, that, so that I can find something for him. He was either is complaining he don't get money for children's school fees or this, And that is a retired commissioner of police. You can't see that anywhere in the world. Go to Britain. Go to Britain. A police officer, when he's on leave, the whole family is sponsored by the government to go on leave. Go to South Africa. I have traveled around. Go to South Africa. Ordinary Haiti, when I went for a foreign mission. Go to Haiti. See the policemen there. What are we talking about? The way they treat police. What is their salary? Check their salary and that of ordinary Benin Republic here. Ordinary Benin Republic. I mean, what's all this? Can't we have a change? When Yaradua was in office, that is one time that the police enjoyed. Let me give you a story. I created Dawn newspaper. It was my idea. I sold the idea to the IG. The IG took it to Godwin Abe. He was in charge of police affairs. When he got there, the man shouted on the IG, said, "What is the police going to do with a newspaper?" When the IG came back to me, he said, "Ben, they've rejected this." I said, "Sir, this is an inspiration from God. Do another thing." He said, "Let me take it to the president, Yaradua, God bless his soul." And he approved it. That's why that paper is still there up to today. The same paper, we've been using it to, all the news from the military and other sister agencies, they always publish it there. That's what we are talking about. There was a time the former IG, Fitz Ringim, came to a meeting and said that sooner or later, they will take over the services of the police. And that is what is happening now. Civil defense is an internal security organization. But which are the people who are training them? The military. There was a time police went on riot because of, salary was not paid. And we thought that's going to be the end and that many things will be put in place. You see, the government should, have a change of mind concerning the police. The police all this insecurity, the police, simple thing, I'm telling you, the issue of this banditry is a simple thing for Nigerian police. When did you see a mobile police last? They've cut their wings. They don't operate the way they used to operate before. But what I would say is that they should be calm. We pray that the national, and they should just meet civil rights activists and all, so that they can help them let the thing pass the last reading and let the president assign his signature to it. The president is a military man. You've got to understand that.